Next day at school. During the physics class, teacher asks students, "Anybody would like to solve this question on Blackboard?" Nobody puts their hand up, and suddenly Emily puts her hand up carefully and says with shy voice, "I think I would like to try." Jamie gets surprised and whispers, "Are you serious?" Emily gets in front of Blackboard and remembers what Davy explained her last night and solves the questions with all calculations. Teacher says, "Okay, that's correct, thank you, Emily." Emily gets back to her seat. Jamie whispers her with an excited tone, "How the hell, girl?" Emily answers, "Once did what he's supposed to do." Jamie's eyes got bigger after that answer. Break bell rings. Emily walks quickly out to the corridor. Jamie runs behind her and yells, "Hey, stop! Wait for me!" They got out. Emily leans to windowsill and Jamie catches her. "Tell me how the hell you guys hang out. I want to know every detail." Emily gets a bit mad and says, "Why you got so excited? We just did my homeworks and he explained stuff I couldn't get. Nothing more." Jamie says, "And according to your performance at the Blackboard, he has done an excellent job." Emily accepts. "Yay, girl, you are right. He is good at it. I couldn't even imagine that he will help me by some way. But I can say that. He really saved my ass." Jamie with a proud voice, "So me as well." Emily smiles. "Yeah, dude. Thanks a lot." At that moment, Dave appears at the corridor, walks by looking to floor, doesn't put his head up, till the moment he got close to Emily and Jamie, he puts his eyes up just for a second, and that second was enough to make an eye contact with Emily. And Dave throws to her a tiny smile. Emily smiles to him too, but doesn't aware of it. Jamie catches her, pocks her shoulder and says, "You guys are close friends now, as I can see." Emily says, "Stop it." At that moment, Dave stayed next to them now and asks, "Hey, Emily. Hey, Jamie. How are you doing?" Emily gets excited instantly and says, "Oh, hey, Dave. I'm fine. So how about you?" Jamie gets curious and asks, "So, Dave, what the hell?" Dave gets surprised. What?" Jamie says, "So actually, you don't talk to anybody if somebody talks to you. So are you okay?" Dave smiles. Shut the fuck up, Jamie. I knew that you guys have physics today, so wanted to ask Emily if she figured out themes. So, Emily says, "So, yeah, Jamie interrupts her and says, "Wait a second, Emily. Since when do you know second grade's program and why?" Dave gets bothered and says, Come on, Jamie. You know me and can't even imagine how many unnecessary stuff I know." Jamie says, "Oh yeah, I forgot that you are an info garbage. So let me leave you guys for a while. I forgot. I have things to do in class." Emily says, Jamie, wait." But Jamie leaves and Dave asks, "So how was the class?" Emily says, "Yeah, as I told you before, thank you. You really saved my ass." Laughs a little. Dave smiles. "So you are welcome. Glad to help you, so don't be shy. If you need help, you can ask me." "Yes, maybe. I am an antisocial when you look at me outside, but I'd always like to help." Emily smiles. "Thanks. But I don't think that you are an antisocial anymore. I'm not sure, but I think you have proper reasons for this." Davy smiles again and says, "Oh, I got what you mean." "Okay, I'll text you when I figure out my plans for ability for a hangout." At that moment, Emily notices that the girl who looked at them with mad look looks at them again with same look and tells about it to Dave. "You better go, 'cause one off your exes, or I don't know. Your fans looks at us pretty bad." Davy looks at that girl, smiles, and says, "Want to hear a fun fact? I have no idea who she is. And probably she has an interest to me just because I am the brother of one of the most popular student of our high school." Emily gets surprised and asks, "Really? I had not knew that." Davy points to a photo of a blonde guy in glass case with awards, thropies and stuff, and says, "Jeff Greystone, yes, he is my older brother. So." Break bell rings and interrupts Dave. Davy looks to his phone for time and says, "Shit, I'm late. So I gotta run. I'll text you. See you." Dave runs and Emily yells behind him, "See you." She looks behind him, takes a deep breath, and gets in class. During the class, she gets bored. But actually, she looked for a reason to get out of the class if Dave is in assembly hall and plays piano again. Well, she puts her hand up and asks teacher, "Excuse me, can I get out for a second?" Teacher looks at her, waits a little bit with a thankful face, and says, "Okay, but hurry up." Emily gets out and walks straight to Assembly Hall. And as she expected, a piano sound started to appearing when she got closer to Hall. She gets in slowly and sees Dave there behind the piano, takes a deep breath and walks imperceptibly behind him. But Dave noticed her from reflection of piano, smiles a little bit and says while playing, "Would you like to join me this time?" Emily startles a bit. "I'm just, sure." Dave slides to left a little bit and starts to play low octaves. Emily, with a struggle, tries to find the key at first, but after 4 wrong notes, she figures it out and Dave confirms her. "Yeah, you nailed it. Keep going." And Emily improvises some stuff over there while Dave looks at her with a smile. They keep playing for a while, then Dave finishes and Emily says, "Thanks for jam. So why you are not in class?" Davey thinks a bit and says, Got bored, so why are you not in class?" with a curious tone. Emily smiles and says, "Got bored too," smiles to Dave confidently. "So do you get bored very often?" Dave smiles and says, "If you mean that do I come here very often, so yeah, I do. But you better don't, 'cause I might not always save your ass." Emily laughs too. "Aha! Okay, I will try to pay attention on that. But can I ask you to play that one thing that you played yesterday, or I don't remember, maybe 2 days ago?" Dave gets what she means and gets a bit sad and says, "How about to doing it later by some way, 'cause you gotta go. You better don't make your teacher mad." Emily gets disappointed and says, "Okay, see you later then." Dave says nothing. Emily feels a bit guilty that if she made Dave sad, so she went to class. When she got in class, teacher looked at her with a meaningful look, but didn't say anything. Emily said sorry and got to her sit. Jamie whispered to her, "How was the jam?" Emily gets surprised and says, "What the hell?" Jamie says confidently, "Come on, I know that you can nothing to do for this long time outside the class rather than go to Assembly Hall and play in some stuff with Dave." Emily rolls her eyes and says, "Yeah, I finally got that I can't hide from you anything here." Jamie laughs and says, "No, you can't hide from me anything about Dave." At that night, Rose arrives to home and says, "Hey, babe," when she takes off her shoes. "How are you?" Emily says, "Fine-ish. So how about you?" Rose says, "Yeah, I'm fine. So how goes school? Would you like to tell me anything?" Emily drops ice cream. "About what?" Rose says, "Teacher called me today and said that you are leaving the class very often at the middle of work and for a pretty long time. So why is that?" Emily says, "Yeah, got an issue with stomach, so couldn't get out of toilet." Rose grabs her can of ice cream and with a mad voice, "So no more whipped and ice cream for a while?" Emily shouts, "Hey, no!" Rose keeps saying, "You better go up to your room and make a course repetition." Emily, with a disgruntled voice, "Fine," and goes to her room. At her room, she takes out of her backpack her study stuff and starts to flipping pages. But after a while, she remembered about Dave and a possible hangout with him. She grabs the phone, opens the conversation with him. Last message was a location that she have sent him. She thought for a while, should she text or not? And finally, she dropped the phone back. Meanwhile, Dave is driving his Julia QV on Independence Pass all alone by himself at the night under the rain with snow. He does that very often because it makes him feel good. Driving on winding mountain roads in deep forest, and at the end of the ride, he stays for a while at the magnificent point where he sees mountains under the moonlight. But at that night, mountains were all covered with clouds, and he couldn't get what he expected. After deep thoughts, he finally got that he might need someone to talk. But he needs someone who does not judge and understands him. At that point, he thinks that he is a hopeless case. He takes a deep breath, and then something clicks in his head. Emily. She seems like she is a good girl, also obsessed on cartoons, but Dave still doesn't know her and isn't sure on his opinions about her. But nothing is going to happen if he would not get to know her. He grabs the phone, opens the conversation page with her, sees that last and only location message, smiles and texts. "Hey, Emily, how about hanging out tomorrow after school? If you would be able or if would like to?" Emily startles with phone notification, grabs the phone quickly, sees the message, smiles and texts. "Sure, I would like to." but then deletes back and types, yeah, would like to, but depends on what we are gonna do. Dave texts back, I will answer your question that you asked last night, if you are still interested though. Emily smiles and texts back, well, okay, see you tomorrow. Good night, sweet dreams. After last message, Emily regrets about it like, shit, why the hell I typed this? Geez, Emily, what the fuck were you thinking about? At that moment, Dave texts back, uh-huh, thanks, but I prefer sweet nightmares. With that message, Emily gets a bit confused and asks, oh, why is that? Dave texts back, because sweet dreams are boring, but sweet nightmares are exciting and full of adrenaline. So I prefer sweet nightmares rather than sweet dreams. Emily smiles and texts, well, that's interesting. So, sweet nightmares then. Dave texts back, you too. Emily drops the phone, leans to the wall next to window. Looks to rainy outside. After a while, something clicks in her head. She startles and thinks to herself, Emily, don't do that. He is just a friend that you got curious about his troubles. It's such a regular situation. And lays down. Back in car, Dave drops his phone and thinks about Emily. Because he is afraid if his opinion about her is wrong. He thinks if his decision becomes a mistake, if she is a person who doesn't deserve to being close to him. But he also knows that he could never know if he wouldn't try. And it's too late now. He invited her to some kind of a date. All of a sudden, his phone rings. His mom, Emma, calls, hangs up the phone. Hey, Mom, how are you? Emma says, hey, Davey, where are you? Dave says, I'm at Independence. Emma with worried voice. Sweetie, you know it's almost snowy season, it's cold and raining. You better stop past rides for a while, please. At least not with your car. Take mine or Father's one. Dave says, okay, Mom, no worries. I'll be home in minutes. Emma says with mad voice, hey, don't you dare, mister. I'm expecting you not earlier than 40 minutes. No speeding. Dave laughs, okay, my queen. No faster than 40. Emma says, okay, we are waiting for you. Kisses. Dave says, yeah, okay, whatever. Hangs down.